Welcome back, and this is now to conclude with the module 5 of Public Relations N5. We're talking about social skills. We talked about the objectives of communications in the previous few videos, but now we're on to the verbal and non-verbal ways of communicating. But before we start that, let's go and test yourself. Just a little brain teaser. Communication is defined as the interchange of thoughts and opinions through shared symbols. Yes, you guessed right. We are sharing information, we're sharing thoughts, so it would be true. The four facets of interpersonal communications are sender, receiver, information, and behavior. The sender, the receiver, information, and information is received, you're going to behave in a certain way. So it is true. Student must be able to use a variety of communication techniques in order to create an environment that enables participants to engage actively in the learning process. So you cannot use the UNISA business scenario with toddlers. You cannot use the toddler scenarios with a group of students. So yes, different techniques needs to be used when communicating. So yes, it is all true. Thank you very much, and I hope you're all enthused now for our last session as we go along. So, the process of communication, we already said there's a sender, there's information, there's a receiver, and there will be behavior. So, communication is a process that involves the transmission of meaningful information from one party to another through the use of shared symbols. And that communication is successful when meaning is understood. So you can jumble, and the recipient says, what did you say? Was it meaningful? Definitely not. So when you transmit information, it must be meaningful, it becomes meaningful, or the communication has been successful when the information becomes meaningful. So, sender, information, recipient, behavior. The goals of training communication is to change behavior to get an action. You just want to talk. I'm sending this video. We are locked bound, so I want you to still pass your June exams so that you get the information. So I'm training this module with the aid of a video, online video tutorial. So I need to get action to ensure understanding, to persuade you what should be important, and to get and give the information. That's the first and foremost. Nice blue circle going there. And we've been saying this, sender, feedback is given after the information is being transmitted. Why? Communication takes place face-to-face, electronic communication, informal communication. You're standing with your colleague around the water canister, and there you have a little conversation as to when you're going to leave for the gym or when you're going to have the next social. You have written communication, and that is when I will transmit all of this information via email to you. So, what are the most common ways we communicate? Spoken word, visual images, body language, and the written word. Let that sink in. We have the spoken word, the visual, the written work, and the body language. All messages do not reach the receiver due to distortion. There might be a computer glitch. There could be a communication breakdown where the person completely do not understand what I'm talking about. So when there's a breakdown in communication, we say that the information is distorted. You can clearly see here, nice breakdown of that flash there. The sender wants to communicate, but because there's some breakdown, the receiver will not get the message. What causes distortion? Perceptions. What I think it is may not be what you think it is. If I start speaking here now in a different language, you will not try and get my video on the channel because you won't understand the language. It's distorting the receiver getting that information. Semantics, all about how do I say it. Personal interest. I'm not so interested in communication. Maybe I'll do policing, or going to do graphic design, etc. So that is all about personal interest. Emotions. I feel a bit fluish today. I feel a bit depressed. I feel a bit sad. I feel a bit happy. I'm enthusiastic. So that is all about wanting to get that information across. Inflections. How do you see from the inside the specific information? You can also say reflection. So what did you get from the message? Environment, noise. Who has been on the telephone yet and there was a cracking sound and you couldn't hear? Or when I was now busy here on the video and there's a truck loading outside, I would not be able to make this video tutorial. Preconceived expectations. What you think, what you expect before even it is happening. Wordiness, it's too long-winded. This information, oh, can you just stop talking now? Attention span. A toddler's attention span is like 3 minutes, if that is not too long still. And then you have a professional business person that could have a 30-minute extension span. And then you've got this comic that could have an attention span of 15 minutes, depending on. So you need to know who's your audience, what you're writing to. You can't have this long-winded written information or this long-winded speech. Physical hearing problem. Am I loud enough? Can you hear me? I'm not shouting on top of my voice, etc. Or am I talking too softly? Whispering the information. And that will all distort that little flash getting the information. And speed of thought. Some people, when the word is out, their thought process is lagging behind. That is why earlier on I asked you to let it sink in. Because maybe I was speaking the information too fast, but there's a core information that I want you to concentrate on and focus on or zone in, that I want you just, that the thought process can catch up with the word process. Okay. Next one. Skills for managing communication. You have assertive communication skills. Getting the people's attention. Isn't that what the gavel does in a court of law? To assert information, to assert attention, so that the information can be carried through. The court is now in session. You are assertive. You can't, court, please sit down, you're now in session. See, people will create chaos in your courtroom. Presentation skills. I don't think this tutorial will be very successful, if at all successful. I still need your feedback. If at all successful, if I was doing this all the time. And now we're looking at presentation skills, then I was not necessary or needed here in this tutorial. Listening skills. Are you listening? Because yes, maybe you can hear me, but do you listen to the information? Do you have listening skills? Hearing skills, yes, because you've got 100% hearing, but are you listening to the information? Non-verbal communication skills. Like I said, gestures, and we will go through that just now. Disinterest. That's saying a lot without me uttering a word. The objective is to understand the meaning of verbal and non-verbal communication cues, to recognize the importance of verbal and non-verbal communication, to be able to practice an effective verbal and non-verbal cue. Yes, she must go to the party. I mean, now, I'm sending quite a very confused message out there. Phew, now I'm getting worried. This 55% is your visual, because people are very perceptive through eye. Because without the word being said, you can see how people are getting the information. Then you have tonal. I can say the same thing. Go to bed. Go to bed. Come on, go to bed, lovey. 3 different tones. And it could mean the recipient, when is mommy now really serious? You can tell your instructor or your employee, please don't be late. Over a cup of tea, please don't be late, hey, don't be late. If you are late one more time, you will fill in the first warning application. 3 different tones. No wonder it is the second part of the pie. And then lastly, verbal. Strange that your body gestures and the way you say something actually goes in, is much more than the tone you're saying it. Components of verbal communication, more important in non-face-to-face communication. Isn't that true? You like to see your friends face-to-face? That's why now we are under lockdown. We do video calls. We want to see our friends. Right. Then share your ideas. Share your ideas. State the main point. Highlight other important points. Assure the receiver's understanding. React to how the receivers respond. And emphasize and summarize your main ideas. And that is when you have the share module of information going. So we've noted that verbal communication is 70%. All communication methods are important, but our emphasis will be upon the spoken word, since 70% of communication efforts are misunderstood, misinterpreted, rejected, disliked, distorted, and not heard. Let's look at the previous slide there. All individuals have some knowledge of the vocabulary of body symbols. Isn't that true? When I did this now, I'll show this interest. When I did this now with that finger, no, 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 without me saying no, 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 no. Only those persons who live in awareness of their body will be able to maintain sensitive contact with their surroundings. Body language is the language transmitted by gestures and postures. I don't think you will be even watching this video if you thought me slouching over the computer is going to be much interested, especially with my hand on my chin. Oops. Do you know what you are saying if you have those body language gestures? Come on, one. Gestures are the direct and unrepeatable expression of the personality. Isn't that true? Oops, the last one. Posture is not only a way of punctuating a conversation, but it's also the way of individuals relate with each other when they are in a group. Intimate, touching, personal, close. Some people don't like their personal space being invaded. Some people can talk from a distance and still get the same effect. Trusting that you are looking at the specific slide and trying to say, oops, that was not the message that I tried to communicate, but my posture or my gesture that I've portrayed in that scenario could have been read like that. And no wonder I got that response. Three senses are used to interpret the outside world: your sight, your hearing, your touch. I wonder who of you are the visual people? Who sees the horizon? Who sees the branches? Who sees the beautiful colors? Who like the warmth on their skin? Or the coldness? Yes, they are the visual, the auditory, and the kinetic people. Those people are the people that want to be touched, who like to be hugged, who wants a handshake at the start of the meeting, who says they are in prayer when they're actually folding their hands. So, non-verbal communication, that will take you up to page 82 and 83 of your textbook. Body movements, eye contact, facial expressions, tone of voice, deliberate silence, appearance, touch, and hand movements. This is not a deliberate silence. I want you to look at the video. Okay. They say holding eye contact, interest and curiosity. You're in an interview scenario and you need to keep eye contact. Isn't that so? When you tell somebody that you love them, you keep eye contact. Can you imagine you telling somebody that you love them and you're looking, I love you? That poor girl, gentleman, or ladies, you'll be so confused. Showing the palms of one's hand, inviting trust. Covering one's mouth when talking, insecurity. Almost lying, eh? Avoiding eye contact when talking, not wanting to show feelings or lying. And we're summing up now. The greeting. Don't blink constantly. Don't bite your lip or moisten them with your tongue. Because now you're doing, especially when you start lying, you always go dry mouth, eh? And it's like, where did we? And that is how you're going to be acting in your relationships with the people that you are in contact with. And lastly, sum it up. Other helpful techniques to foster communication, both verbal and non-verbal. Nod your head, repeat the last word or two, the prior speaker. Keep an open body position, maintain eye contact, like we said. Repeat the sentence part of one and make encouraging statements. I want to say well done. We've concluded now with this module, and there is a little part I wanted to say that's on your page, but we've covered in section 1 when we jumped to this module. It is all about the written communication, how you address people. You won't say hi if you want to speak to the principal of a school. If you want to speak to the dean of the university, you don't say hi. You will address it in that manner. When you talk on the telephone, there's telephone etiquette that you need to consider, because you're the front. You want to establish the image of the organization all the time, so you're going to have that specific etiquette and mannerisms. Taking communication messages is on page 87, and that will be your self read for you, because we've done it in module 1 as well. Thank you very much for attending, and good luck until we see next time.